Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm going to be taking a look at another version of the high-grade GQuuuuuuX. We saw the regular one before, but the one we're going to be taking a look at today is the high-grade GQuuuuuuX Endymion Unit Awakened. This is a little bit different from what we would have seen before, with some new effect parts, a new head with an opening mouth, but a lot of which is kind of the same as what we would have seen before. Anyway, I got mine right here through Bai, so if you're looking to get some gunpla of your own, link is down there in the description, but let's jump right into the review. So winding back a little bit, back in time to the build. Now I'm only going to be mentioning what's new inside of this box. First off, we do have a brand new head for using with this kit. That of course is the one with the opening mouth. This head has tons and tons of tiny little parts, almost real grade level, and we do have a whole bunch of stickers in here as well. So if you're not the biggest fan of stickers, there are a grand total of 8 stickers in here, as well as some options. When it comes to the options, you can choose the color inside of the mouth as well as the eye color. You can have the standard colors or a little bit more of a kind of berserk color scheme. Besides that though, these are some of the tiniest parts I have ever seen in a high grade kit. So if you do struggle a little bit with small parts, this kit has tiny, and I mean tiny microscopic parts. And the second thing that is brand new inside this box is the little effect parts for the Endymion Unit Awakened. Basically, you build up what's almost like a pink crystal ball that does have a little black sphere in the center, almost like a black hole of sorts, and then we've got these really cool, but at the same time, really simple effect parts. Now these are on just an acetate sheet, you pop them out like so, you sandwich them right in the middle of the little tiny black hole effects, and it looks a little something like this. Again, simple, effective, and does exactly what it needs to do. But let's check out the finished kit. But anyway, this right here is what you get once you get it out of the box and snapped together, with nothing done at all besides the addition of some of, not all of the stickers inside the box. And again, the GQuuuuuuX is one impressive looking kit, but first let's get the accessories off and take a look at what the base Gundam looks like without these attached. And this right here is what it looks like. Again, nothing extra has been done out of box, but I will mention during the build there is quite a few stickers that are used in the build. Now this is essentially the same as what we would have seen with the standard version of the GQuuuuuuX, just with more stickers on this sheet. Again, I did not use them all. Like I said, we do have some stickers here which are options for the eyes and the mouth. You do also have optional Xeon or Pomeranian stickers for on the chest. But as for the ones I did attach, that would be the various head cameras as well as those crazy new, what I can only describe as 3-dimensional or almost holographic looking eyes. Those are insane. The gold ones inside of those units up on the shoulder, those are new. Little purple ones on the clavicle. A whole bunch of them here on the cockpit section, all of that orange. Down here, all of that orange right there, as well as inside of the fuel tanks on the sides of the legs. The second set of decals are included as well. These are sticker style decals. I will mention at this point in time you can get water slide decals for using with this kit if you prefer. These are quite heavy duty, which is good, and they'd look pretty good when on. Water slides, always a little bit more delicate. These are all those red stripes like we're seeing up here in the shoulder, around on the backpack, some on the sides of the legs, as well as some on, well, I guess down on the calf sections here. These most definitely are tedious enough to attach, but once you get them on there, they do hold up quite well, and overall, they do look pretty damn good, to be honest. But yeah, overall when it does come to the aesthetics on the high-grade GQuuuuuuX, this version or the standard version, these give real grade a run for their money when it does come to the external detail. It looks incredible, the color separation is ridiculous, the head has so many tiny parts, again, on par with something like a real grade besides not having an inner frame. We've got beautiful geometry in all of the body parts, the tanks, or should I say the fuel tanks and thrusters inside of the legs just looks insane, and overall this is one of the most complex high grades out there when it does come to the way the parts knit together and the overall design and build. It is still hyper impressive, even a year or so later. But the big question when it does come to the high-grade GQuuuuuuX Endymion Unit Awakened, it's what makes it any different to the standard high-grade GQuuuuuuX right here? And if you already have the standard GQuuuuuuX, why should you buy one over the other? Or if you don't have a GQuuuuuuX, which one is the best option to buy out of the two of them? So let's talk about what, well, makes them look any different, and we'll get to that point eventually. So anyway, there they are, both beside each other spinning around. We've got the classic high-grade GQuuuuuuX on the left, we've got the brand new one we're taking a look at today, the Endymion Unit version on the right, and before I even say anything at all, I'll give you a chance to actually try and spot the differences between the two for yourself. There isn't really a whole lot, and one of which is pretty blatantly obvious. The other one is kinda obvious too. Now, I will also mention that I do have stickers on the new one because I did not put them on the old one, because with the standard version I was planning to put water slide decals on it, but I've never gotten around to it. So this time around I just threw on the included stickers. So the red lines, that's not a difference between the two. That's just a decision I kind of made on the fly, just randomly. Anyway, the biggest difference between the two, of course, is the fact that we do have a brand new head. So on zooming on in, you can see that the head is different, but at first glance, not hugely different. You can kind of notice it in the lower jaw a little bit, the way it is split up, and that it does look a little bit on the larger side. Besides that, the new eyes really do stand out. Those holographic big eyes are incredible looking. But besides that, a lot of it does look very, very similar, and there's not really a huge bunch of differences between the two kits. So the next difference, with a little bit of a caveat, a little bit of a but, is this right here. So the shoulders are different between the two. You can see into the new gold stickers inside. Again, the sticker is something that both kits actually do have, and we do have a hole in the end for the Endymion Unit awakened version. Besides that though, they are the same, but there's a but coming. I'll talk about that in a second. The other difference between the two is this right here, the hole in the side of the leg. Now this is present in the standard version, I will mention. This is just kind of a build thing, it just tells you to leave it like this. Because if I just take the standard version right here, you're actually able to pop this cap off, just like that right there. Now we do not have the same option up in the shoulders, so only the legs you can do that with. So yeah, that but I was just talking about is the fact that the parts actually do come included. So you do have these shoulder covers. So the shoulders of this can be converted to the standard GQuuuuuuX style. The same does go with the caps for the shoulders right here, so you can do that too. So those can be covered up as well, making it the same as the standard unit. And as far as I can see, all the parts for building up the standard head are included too, besides one thing, and that is the eye stickers. So you could build up, I guess, the standard looking head if you wanted to. This head already looks standard enough as far as I'm concerned, besides the crazy eyes. So if you can get past the crazy eyes, this is physically the exact same kit as the other kit. Just the head has more detail than before, essentially making it just an upgrade kit to this kit. Not really that many differences at all. So essentially this is the superior kit overall. So now jumping on into the size comparison, there it is beside the standard version of the GQuuuuuuX, the Red Gundam, GQuuuuuuX, Light Cannon, High Grade Oryx 78-2, Core Gundam, Moon Gundam, and the High Grade Gundam Aerial. So now jumping on into the accessories, and there's everything that comes with the high-grade GQuuuuuuX Endymion Unit Awakened version. So similar to what we would have seen with the standard version of the GQuuuuuuX, we have both of those awesome beam sabers, as well as that nicely designed colorful beam rifle. We do have two holding hands, as well as the widespread dynamics that are on this one. I just left them attached onto the weapons for the sake of brevity. The shield is the same as what we would have seen before, same with the standard little bit of a heat hawk. We have this little adapter section. We've got a full closed version of the head, which is something we would have seen with the standard GQuuuuuuX too, so that is still included with this kit. We have this adapter section here for using with the backpack to make it into a sort of core fighter, but the only thing that's really different in here when it comes to the accessories, besides the complete head unit there, is these little kind of tiny black hole energy looking segments. Otherwise though, it's pretty much the same loadout we saw before. So just blasting through some of the stuff that we've seen before quite quickly. First off is this right here. There's just a standard heat hawk all in the one shade of grey, very basic, one piece of plastic. Next up is the GQuuuuuX's beam sabers, which are ridiculously unique. We've got a pearlescent green blade and a nice, interestingly shaped handle. Definitely a nice break from your standard beam saber. In order to attach these, you just pop them into either our holding hand or both at once. Attach them into the wrist via a normal ball joint. They hold on nice. This is a very unique looking beam saber without a doubt. Impressive. And that right there is what the GQuuuuuuX looks like in a little bit of a pose holding onto it. Again, catches the light nicely. Unique shape. You got some energy, jagged, flared bits popping out here and there on it. And again, the pearlescent look just really does work out nicely. When it's not in use, you just pop it onto the butt flap, just like we would have seen the last time. Next up in here is the beam rifle. I will mention I do have the hand attached on just for the sake of getting it on there quickly. Overall, very nice. We've got three shades of color being white, orange, as well as the gray. This would definitely look a lot nicer if you got some shading via Gundam marker into any of those recesses. And we do have a purple sticker for the sights section inside. Again, getting it attached on is the same as popping off whatever hand you've attached. This attaches into the hand as usual. That's a sandwich style hand, and it pops on just like so. Again, a nice little, very color separated beam rifle right here. Once again, there is the GQuuuuuuX in a bit of a pose with this attached in. Again, very dynamic and nice. We've got some nice beam sabers in here, as well as a nice beam rifle. Just like the rest of the stuff in here, the shield has a very unique design. Again, a very rounded, low profile kind of look overall. Around on the other side, we do have some nice gray molding. And as for the way it is attached, or should I say will attach on, we've got a ball joint attaching onto this cuff section, so you can angle it around when it is attached on. Attaches onto the cuff, and this is what it looks like when it is in a pose yet again. Overall, nice attachment, holds on well, and a very unique design that goes nicely with the GQuuuuuX itself. Next up, we've got this little segment right here. This is just an attachment for the backpack. When you remove the backpack, you can attach this on to display it in its ejected core fighter mode. Again, all of this is very not color accurate compared to what it should look like, and that's exactly the same as what we would have seen with the other version of GQuuuuuX. And the last of the things included in here that were also included with the standard version of the GQuuuuuX is this right here. This is the closed version of the head. Again, there's a lot of stuff on the V-fin or the antenna there that is not color accurate. We should have some gray and stuff. I didn't use any of the stickers on this particular version of the head because I'm not going to use it. And when it's popped onto the GQuuuuuX, it looks like that right there. Exactly the same as what we would have seen with the standard version. Now finally, getting on to what is new. And that, of course, is this brand new head. The crazy eyes are a sticker, so those are just stuck on. We do have a pink optional version, but what makes this extremely different to what we would have seen before is we do have an opening mouth gimmick. If you pull the head back like that, it pretty much happens automatically, and that right there is what it looks like. This kind of gives it a little bit of a roaring Evangelion kind of feel. We do have some, or should I say a single sticker inside the mouth, which is giving it a little bit of a blue silver reflection. And if you do use the other eyes and mouth, that'll be red on the inside with pink eyes. So there is options within the options in this kit. Lastly then in here are these included effects. These are very nicely done. So you do have a standard gold sticker there for that gold section. These are the ones from the calves, so the ones for up on the shoulders do not actually have that bit, they just look like that. Just that kind of little black hole effect. Again, we do have a black ball inside of that pink clear sphere, and then that nice little acetate sheet giving you some really cool looking effects. It's very simply done, but very effective. Let's get them attached. So when it comes to attaching on these effects, it's very simple. On the shoulders, you use the ones without the attachment point on them. You just throw them right on in, just like so. When it comes to the calf sections, these have that little white, almost spherical surfaced section that would have been that little cap we would have seen before. So it's like they're ejecting out of the leg ever so slightly. They pop in exactly the same. And that right there is what the high-grade GQuuuuuX looks like with the Endymion Unit activated, and honestly these look pretty cool. For something so simple like acetate sheets, these look really cool. The little black hole sections in them again looking awesome, and overall pretty damn cool. So now jumping on into the articulation, I'm not going to talk too much about this because it's essentially the same as what we would have seen with the standard. Actually, it's exactly the same as what we would have seen with the standard version of the high-grade GQuuuuuX. Now, I will mention the high-grade GQuuuuuX is a little bit of a kind of loose feeling kit. It's not loose, it just feels it when you're moving it. It holds every position perfectly and all of that. Just mean it can be easy to kind of knock it out of poses by accident at times. But it's not going to drop out of a pose on you. It's just an overall lightweight and almost kind of figure designed feeling kit. It really just flows nicely. Anyway, using the normal pose, and I'm just going to do it in real time because this is a simple kit to pose. It's got some unique feet. Everything just works out easily, and a lot of times I do have to cut away and kind of do this pose while not talking because I will screw it up, but there's just something in essence so natural about posing the GQuuuuuX. It all works out quite nicely in the end, and as you can see, it gets into the pose very, very well. Again, it can feel a little loose, but it's not loose. It's kind of a weird little combination. Otherwise, great poser. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and the high-grade GQuuuuuX Endymion Unit Awakened is X Gold tier from me, and exactly the same as what I would have given the standard version of the GQuuuuuX. Again, this right here at its core is the exact same kit with some extra stuff. You can build the standard GQuuuuuX in here if you want to, you just won't have the standard eyes. But this is essentially the superior kit to the standard release because it does everything the standard release does and more. When it comes to the aesthetics, you got 3 out of 5. Overall, this is one of the most crazy looking Gundams around. If you didn't know what it was meant to look like and just saw the kit, it's so impressive. However, it is missing some colors here, there, and everywhere, especially around the backpack. It is sticker heavy in a lot of places like the head, which does bring it back a little bit. If it wasn't for all those stickers, I definitely would have, well, given it the 4 out of 5. It's almost real grade tier when it comes to the head. Articulation-wise, this kit is incredible. You'll pull off pretty much any pose. It's such a unique design. It's almost organic in that Evangelion sort of way, while still very robotic in that Gundam way, and you can pull off pretty much any pose you want. It's fluid, feels like an action figure. It's great. When it comes to the accessories in here, again, these are all pretty much fantastic. Anything I'd say bad about it, you could always end it with a but it is included. For example, the Heat Hawk, it's not that impressive, but it is included. You get so much in here. The alternate head, sure, could use a little bit of coloring up, but again, it is included. The beam rifle's impressive, the beam sabers are super cool, the new parts and the new head are all very impressive. So overall, great set of accessories. Last up when it comes to the build, again, this is a little bit of a kind of mixed bag as well. It's a very unique build. It builds up in a unique, fun kind of way like nothing else out there. It's one of the most unique builds of all time. However, it does have its negative aspects. Lots of sticker or painting detail you will have to do while building it up because it's not 100% color accurate. The other thing is, it could be a little bit tighter out of box when it is complete. Otherwise though, still a very nice build. But yeah, definitely the superior version of the high-grade GQuuuuuX. If you were to get one or the other, I would definitely say go for this one if you can, and if you can't, you're not really missing out on a lot unless you really need those effects and that opening mouth. Anyway, if you do want one of your own, I got mine through Buy, link in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time. It's the end of the video, so that means it's time to thank all of those awesome people that support me on the channel memberships as well as over on Patreon, including Stephen Collier, Izzy's Jim, Christopher Hamzy, Dismaz, Caleb Engelhardt, Joe, RG95061, Scotty Thomas, Van Fon, Stephen Collier again, and Gunpla.deals.